In the beginning, there was Death Wish, a video on my channel that has now amassed more than 10,000 views, the first coffee that I ever enjoyed drinking, and a friend that has always kept me awake even on my sleepiest days. So I thought it only fair to give it an updated review in 2021. Welcome back to Caffeine Connoisseurs. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of B-roll there at the beginning of the video. I thought since Death Wish is one of the most popular types of coffee on my channel that I would do something a little bit special other than my normal intro. Of course, I did play my normal intro, but yeah, you get what I mean. Anyway, I also wanted to mention that this is the 2-year anniversary of me first posting on this channel. To the exact date that I'm recording this, unfortunately, it'll be like 2 weeks from now or something until I get to post this, so I thought that I'd mention that anyway. And yeah, so I thought that I'd make an updated video not only because it's the 2-year anniversary, but because when I made that first Death Wish video, I was clueless about how to record like coffee reviews. I didn't know the difference between Arabica and Robusta beans. I didn't know like what different roasts did to the caffeine content. I didn't know anything about coffee, and I didn't really know how to pick up the subtleties of flavor in coffee. I mean, I'm way more experienced now than I was before, so I hope that I can do this coffee justice. Of course, I also have whole bean coffee now because in the first video I just reviewed K-Cups, which I don't think is a fair comparison or a fair review because K-Cups are K-Cups and you just make it in a Keurig. So now I have the whole beans, I have a grinder, I have an electric kettle to make pour-over coffee. So yeah, this is a very much improved review. So I want to jump directly into the caffeine content because that's what everyone is here for. So this coffee has a lot of caffeine, and this is a highly debated topic on the internet. No one knows exactly how much caffeine is in this, but I did find a number from caffeineinformer.com, and I was actually wrong in my last video about the caffeine content of this coffee. So per 12 fluid ounces of coffee, which is about what I have right here, there is 728 milligrams of caffeine. And considering that a normal cup of coffee is only like 100 milligrams, that is a lot of caffeine. So I would like to be able to test this myself, but unfortunately I don't have the tools required to be able to test the caffeine content of coffee, and I'm not willing to go out there and buy it just yet because, as I've said in a lot of videos, I'm a broke college student. So I'm going to give a warning, and when I say this, I mean it too. Be very careful with this coffee. Like, you may be able to think you can handle caffeine, but unless you're drinking about 4 or more cups a day, this cup of coffee is going to give you even more than that. 728 milligrams. So yeah, this has the caffeine content of over 7 cups of coffee, and right now it's like 1:16 in the morning. I've had about, I don't know, like 3 cups of this today. And normally caffeine doesn't really have that much of an effect on me, but this stuff, after drinking about 3 cups, my body was like, hey, Drake, you've had enough caffeine. You need to stop. Like, I could feel my heart telling me to stop, and that's also why I'm not drinking a lot of this, because I actually want to go to sleep tonight and not have a heart attack. I was going to record 2 more videos today, but I'm gonna save those and record it tomorrow because I've already had way too much caffeine today. So now on to the composition of this coffee. It is made with Robusta beans. There's no getting around that because Robusta beans have more caffeine content, so they're going to do everything in their power to give them as much caffeine as possible in this coffee, so they're going to use Robusta beans. One thing that's actually surprising about this coffee, though, is it's a dark roast, and when you're trying to get as much caffeine as possible, you probably want to do something more like a medium roast because you can actually get more caffeine that way, because when you do a dark roast, you're actually burning some of the caffeine off. But this coffee doesn't play by the rules in other areas too, because normally when you use Robusta beans instead of Arabica beans, the Robusta beans are a little bit lower quality in flavor, while the Arabica beans are generally have a better flavor and are higher quality. But I really love the taste of Death Wish though. For some reason, even though it's made with Robusta beans and it's a little bit more bitter than other types of coffee, I love the taste of it. Of course, this is personal preference. I understand why some people wouldn't like it because, after all, this is the world's strongest coffee as they claim on the bag, but they don't just mean that in like a caffeinated sense, like it has a high amount of caffeine, it's strong. No, they mean it in literally every sense. This coffee packs a punch like no other, and the flavor of it will slap you in the face and tell you to wake up in the morning. But under the boldness of this coffee, there are some subtleties to enjoy. There are actually cherry and dark chocolate undertones that add a lot of depth to the coffee, because some other coffees that are really strong, they're just really bitter, they don't really taste that good, they don't really have any undertones, they're just not that good in general. But this, along with being extremely bitter, I will admit, it actually has a lot of depth to it, and the full-bodied nature of it, it's just some good coffee. And I swear, this isn't a Death Wish ad. This is my honest opinion and review of it, but I just really love Death Wish. It's honestly kind of an addiction. I was daily drinking Death Wish for like 2 months in a row. That was really unhealthy. But with all of that being said, when I first tried Death Wish, I thought it was terrible. It's definitely an acquired taste, and I didn't just pick up a coffee mug and immediately start enjoying it. I had to drink more and more until I finally understood that there was a little bit more depth to the bitterness, and it wasn't just an awful tasting coffee. Because I've saw some comments on my other YouTube video about Death Wish that it tastes like, I forgot what the exact comment is. I could put it on screen here if I find it, but it was somewhere along the lines of it tasting like burnt or something. I don't know, but I will put that comment on the screen if I can find it, but I really enjoy the taste of it, but of course, some people don't. If you're not used to drinking a dark roast coffee and you're more of a medium to light roast person, this probably wouldn't be for you, because I also drink black coffee, and this is by far some of the boldest coffee out there, so if you're not a fan of that, this coffee probably isn't for you, but the caffeine content is worth it if you need a kick. But the high caffeine content of this coffee may be one of its weaknesses, because if I want a cup of coffee in the evening, I'm not going to reach for Death Wish unless I'm recording a video at 1:30 a.m. because it's going to keep me up all night, and of course, if I'm drinking an evening cup of coffee, I'm not going to drink all of this coffee. I just want to let you guys know that. But if I'm reaching for a cup of coffee in the evening, I'm going to drink the whole thing, and I'm not going to sleep that night if it's Death Wish. Or at least I'm going to have a hard time sleeping because the caffeine content of this coffee is so damn high. And also, of course, if you're really sensitive to caffeine, you probably don't want to drink this, or if you're under the age of 18, you probably don't want to drink this. I'm just going to throw that disclaimer so no one can say, hey, I drank this and I'm like 12 and I had a heart attack, help. No, don't drink this if you're 12 years old. Alexa, turn on downstairs lights. So if you're 12 years old, please don't drink it. You can probably tell that I've had a lot of caffeine today. So, is this the best coffee out there? No, it's not. Is it the highest caffeinated coffee out there? Actually, it's not. Devil Mountain Coffee, which I have a video on, is actually the highest caffeine content coffee out there, but is it the best tasting coffee with the highest amount of caffeine? Yes, Death Wish is that, and that is why I love it so much. But, of course, as I've already said, probably don't drink this in the evening. I would say that this is a morning-only cup of coffee, and I mean, as I said, I'm recording this at 1:30 a.m., so I mean, it's technically morning, so hey. And with that, I should probably end the video so I don't drink too much of this, because I do need to go to sleep tonight because I have work tomorrow and I need to make like 2 to 3 more videos because I have a trip to Germany coming up. But anyway, make sure to go and smash that like button like you've had 5 cups of Death Wish, and while you're at it, go move on over to the subscribe button and hit the bell, because in the next couple weeks I have more and more videos coming out. So I hope you'll stay tuned for those, and I will see you next week. Peace. God, I've had so much caffeine today.